Welcome to the fifth episode of the Seeking Wisdom in Stories podcast. In this episode, we'll explore the idea of a character's need for adventure, which can resonate deeply with our own experiences in real life. It seems that the possibility of adventure appeals to the human heart as far as we've known. In stories, we often see a character yearning for more than his usual station in life. Many of us are familiar with the iconic shot of a young Luke Skywalker looking into the horizon on Tatooine in the first Star Wars film, A New Hope. What is it about this moment and other similar images that evoke a desire in our hearts to venture forth beyond our comfort zone into an unknown universe? Adventure raises our expectation for excitement, new challenges, and the hope of discovering new worlds, new relationships, and new parts of ourselves. Like a battle, adventure puts us to the test and brings out our admirable qualities in our better moments. And adventure appeals to the romantic in our hearts. Life suddenly feels more vivid and vibrant when we're on an adventure. But what is a life of adventure really about? Does adventure have to be a larger-than-life experience that calls us out into the literal wilderness where we struggle to survive or fight against a massive foe? Can adventure be found in quieter circumstances, in the mundane, everyday details of our lives? Adventure seems to require a heart of wonder and a curious mind. For Frodo in the first Lord of the Rings film, The Fellowship of the Ring, he ventures past his homeland in the Shire, and this promises much adventure. With his friend Sam and a fellowship of travelers, Frodo is tasked with taking the One Ring to the depths of Mordor in order to destroy it. We can see that Frodo is way over his head as he's chased by the forces of Sauron, risking life and death along the way. One of the most telling scenes happens in the middle of the film when the Fellowship is traversing underground in the mines of Moria. Frodo spots the lowly Gollum in the distance and wishes Bilbo had killed the creature, but the wizard Gandalf chastises him. Frodo relents and in an exasperated state wishes that the ring had never come to him, that none of this had ever happened. Gandalf speaks truthfully to Frodo that many have wished the same, but all we can do is to decide what to do with the time we have been given. In an adventure like Frodo's, we might find ourselves suddenly in places that we never wished to go, but our choices to move forward matter. In Star Wars, Luke Skywalker had to do the same when he chose to leave his home planet of Tatooine and join the rebellion with Obi-Wan Kenobi. In the first Wonder Woman film, Diana answers the call to leave her island and help Steve Trevor and the rest of humanity when a great threat emerges. When we have a heart of wonder and a curious mind, adventure in any setting seems possible. Children are known to have a natural sense of wonder, and we often recognize that wonder fades when we grow older. Wendy and her brothers step into the world of Neverland when they join Peter Pan. Charlie marvels at the amazing wonders in Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. Lucy Pevensey steps through a simple wardrobe and into the wintry landscape of Narnia to meet Mr. Tumnus. These are all fantastical settings that inspire our imagination visually on screen or in a novel. And in these settings, the characters find wonderful adventures that help them to grow. But what about the presence of adventure in relationships? In the film Shakespeare in Love, a young William Shakespeare struggles to make a living writing his next play until he meets his muse. Their romance inspires the text of what will eventually become the play Romeo and Juliet. Adventure is present as they fall in love and in the creative process give birth to the joys of acting and storytelling on stage. To enter into a new relationship offers new discoveries about the other person, a life together and little moments between the two of you that are intimate and life-giving. Think of the actual retelling of Romeo and Juliet as seen in the Baz Luhrmann film. His directorial style is bombastic and larger than life, where Miami's South Beach fills in for the fair Verona. When Romeo sees Juliet for the first time, it opens up a new path in life for both of them. Romance is a natural fit for a sense of adventure, even as heard in the lyrics of Disney's Aladdin, as the diamond in the rough and Jasmine sing a whole new world. One might say that a sense of adventure is needed to live life fully, to experience all that life has to offer, and to become fully alive in our very being. For Mr. Incredible in the first Incredibles film, he's lost his sense of adventure by taking on a civilian life and hiding his superpowers. When he gets a chance to reignite his superhero career, he thinks this is what he truly wants. But by the story's end, Mr. Incredible realizes it's his family who holds the adventure he needs. Adventure is also key to storytelling in games, as seen in open-world environments like The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, or Elden Ring. The player interacts with the environment, which is dynamic and reactive, adjusting to the player's choices. I think this is one of the key aspects of games that allow for a constant state of wonder. When we are curious and filled with wonder about discovering more inside a game's world, we're motivated to explore, take risks, and to strive for more in our goals. We might veer from the main storyline of a game to go on side quests that offer rich experiences and rewards. Elden Ring is well known for its game design that offers opportunities to go off the beaten path and to not have to beat all the bosses to make it to the end. For a game, adventure is found in the power of choices that lead to visceral consequences. Of course, the need for adventure is not just for oneself. Often the most fulfilling adventures are shared with loved ones. Think of Carl discovering the note from his late wife Ellie in the album near the end of the film, Up. For Ellie, a life with her husband was the adventure she was looking for all along. In the context of relationship, the joy of adventure seems to multiply to greater levels, pointing to the relational nature of how we are as humans. The story of Up explores these themes as we see Carl initially living an isolated life after Ellie's death, but he later finds meaningful friendship with young Russell. Perhaps the need for adventure is one element in life that holds a mirror up to the deepest part of ourselves. It helps us to ask, what are we truly yearning for, and what satisfies our souls? On a humorous note, the film adaptation has actor Nicolas Cage playing screenwriter Charlie Kaufman, and there are hilarious scenes where Kaufman's character indirectly questions the value of adventure when he criticizes the Hollywood 3-act script structure at a seminar event led by fictional Robert McKee. It's one of the funniest scenes in the movie because Kaufman wants to write a movie where nothing happens, and McKee ends up humiliating him in front of the seminar audience for even thinking of writing such a story. Amusingly enough, the film itself adopts a third act that mirrors a typical action-packed Hollywood 3-act structure, but in its comedic criticism, the film shines a light on the role that a sense of adventure plays in our stories and in our souls. Overall, the need for adventure is a great catalyst for kicking off a story and giving a protagonist a clear goal to pursue. If we look deeper into the character psychology, maybe there's a great fear underneath that need for adventure. Is the character scared of something internal and is running away from it by going on an adventure? Even in the writing process, thinking about why a character feels he needs adventure could lead us to a better understanding of what makes him tick. Maybe it's a worthwhile question to ask ourselves when we look inward. Thank you for listening to this 5th episode of the Seeking Wisdom in Stories podcast. I appreciate you taking time to listen in, and I hope to share more with you in the next episode.